They live in million-dollar mansions, but sometimes the luxury cracks, and something darker seeps through. These are the stories celebrities don't tell on late-night shows, the ones that stayed with them, long after the camera stopped rolling. 10 ghost stories, 10 real encounters, all from the most unexpected people. If you thought fame could protect you from the supernatural, think again. Before he became a horror icon, Finn Wolfhard walked into a real nightmare. He was just 13, filming it in a creaking abandoned mansion outside Toronto. The place wasn't dressed to look haunted. It already was. One afternoon, Finn climbed the stairs alone. The second floor was supposed to be empty, but at the end of the hallway, a man in black, kneeling by a tangle of wires, silent. He blinked. The man was gone. The crew swore no one had been up there. Not that day, not ever. Later, Finn said he felt the air shift, freezing, and then a single footstep behind him, just one. Finn said in an interview, "I've been in a lot of supernatural movies and TV shows, but ironically, I've never really seen a full-on ghost. But there was a time when I was a kid shooting It in this abandoned mansion in Toronto, and me and a bunch of the other cast were exploring the floors." He recalled that when they went to the top floor, they saw a guy in black who was doing an electrician work, so they thought he was a crew member. But then later, we found out that no one knew who that was, and no one ever saw him again. He said, adding, "It could have been someone just messing around, but yeah, it was pretty scary." Kelly Clarkson, America's sweetheart, once bought a beautiful home in Texas, quiet, peaceful, until the painters came. They said the girl peeked around corners, left footprints in fresh paint, but vanished when they looked. Later, Kelly learned a young girl had died in the house decades before. No one warned her, but the spirit made herself known. Kelly never tried to chase her out. She simply adapted. In London, Miley Cyrus rented a luxury flat while on tour, but the luxury didn't last. She said the taps would turn on by themselves. Doors slammed in rooms no one entered. One night she saw a boy, thin, soaking wet, standing by her shower, then gone. Miley moved out the next morning and never looked back. Kat Dennings grew up in a 1600s farmhouse in Pennsylvania, but her childhood memories aren't of toys, they're of shadows. She said something lived in the basement. It played with electronics, turned lights off, whispered at night. Once it caught her mother mid-fall, as if a hand pulled her back from the stairs. They didn't call it a ghost, but it was watching. Kesha once said she had relations with a ghost. Most laughed. She didn't. She woke up one night paralyzed, a figure above her, not threatening but there. She felt pressure, breath, a hum in her ears. She said it was intimate. She named the spirit Ryan and claimed he followed her for weeks.
You said, I have to ask you this, you're running out of time, that you've slept with a ghost. I have to ask you, have you slept with a ghost?
I did go to the Bone Zone with a ghost. I mean, do you want details?
Yes! Ghost of who? Was it a ghost of a famous person? Was it like...
I don't know his name, but he was in my house.
You don't know his name?
Well, he's a ghost, and so he just started, caressing me like this.
Oh. This story's getting better. And so then things proceeded from there.
Right, it was a sexy time. It wasn't like sex.
I love it.
Nicolas Cage once owned the most haunted house in New Orleans, the LaLaurie Mansion. He said he heard chains dragging at night, sobbing from empty rooms. He never spent a full night inside, He sold it in silence. To this day, he refuses to discuss what really happened there. Long before Nicolas Cage owned it, the LaLaurie mansion was home to one of the most disturbing figures in New Orleans history, Madame Delphine LaLaurie. In the 1830s, she was a wealthy socialite, admired for her beauty and elegance. But behind closed doors, she hid a grotesque secret. After a mysterious fire broke out, firefighters entered the attic, and what they found shocked even the most hardened. Enslaved people were chained, mutilated, and experimented on in horrifying ways. Some were barely alive. The city turned on her. An angry mob stormed the mansion. LaLaurie vanished, fleeing to France. But her victims' screams, they say, never left. To this day, locals whisper that the house is cursed, filled with rage, sorrow, and something else. Nicolas Cage said he wanted to write a horror novel. Instead, he bought one. Emma Stone says her late grandfather leaves her coins, dimes, nickels, in places no one could reach. It started after he passed. She'd find them in sealed drawers, under pillows. She believes he never left. Not really. Just changed form. In Canada, while filming, Kristen Stewart stayed in an old hotel. One night she woke up, paralyzed. A woman in colonial dress stood at the foot of her bed, pale, expressionless, not moving. Kristen blinked. The woman was still there, and then she was gone. Adele once rented a 10-bedroom mansion outside London. She lasted 2 nights. She said she heard voices. Doors creaked open on their own. Something walked the halls. She fled with her bags at dawn and refused to perform nearby.
Bye-bye.
Lady Gaga claimed she was haunted by a ghost named Ryan, a shadowy figure she saw everywhere. He showed up backstage, in her dressing room mirror, even on a plane. She hired spiritual advisors to remove him. They failed. She still talks about him in whispers as if he's listening. "10 stars, 10 encounters, whispers in the dark, footsteps where no one walks. These stories stay with you, long after the lights go out." They believed what they saw, and they never forgot. If you're still watching, maybe something followed. You too, like this video, subscribe to Fame Trail for Part 2, and tell us in the comments, has anything like this ever happened to you? Because stories like these are never really over. And tonight, maybe leave a light on.